Welcome back to the vlog, everybody. We are at the shop. It's actually a public holiday here in Japan, so I'm here by myself, except I smell some burnt coolant and some burnt oil. So that means there's a Subaru in the shop. What's up?
Yo.
It's been so long since we've hanged out, but
every time
you know,
gas gotta come by.
or every time you need to charge your vape.
Yeah. Same thing.
But yeah, no, amongst me, dad life, new dad life, do people know yet?
No, they don't know yet, so let's leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that. We're not saying any more, as long as you're okay with that. But yeah, lots of exciting things happening for both of us, so it's really exciting. Anyways, Albo's here for his monthly tire and wheel change.
Yeah, I just make excuses to come hang out with Sam.
But yeah, it's cool to see this Forester, man. I love this thing. Every time I see an SDI like Forester, I'm like, Albo's got one of those.
Right.
And I know about these cars existing because of you, so
yeah,
I love them.
It's like Subaru's last great contribution to the world, in my opinion. I feel like they kind of
The
lost
Forester, you think so?
Well, the Forester SDI.
The SDI, yeah.
Yeah. Preceding generations of Forester with the SDI badging are like nothing like an actual SDI car.
Oh yeah.
So,
this is just such a cool thing though, because like if you grip it up, it pretty much drives like a Rexy, right?
yeah, pretty much. It's the same chassis as the GDB.
Jeez,
So,
bruh. Made me a little scared. Wait, are those just finger tight?
No, yes. Should I get up?
That's fine. Yeah, all right. Yep. Just you do you, man. I can't. But yes, Albo is here at the shop today, changing from his winter wheels and tires to his fun wheels and tires. But I am also here, and I am going to get to work on the abandoned 32. I'm gonna weld up the arches tonight. I'm gonna get all these welded. We had to wait a couple days, mainly just because we cleaned everything in there with a wire wheel and a brush. Then what we had to do was spray the rust converter in there, wait for that to set and dry, clean all that off, and then we went in there with the weld through primer. So now when I tack and weld these all together, the zinc inside the primer is gonna make it galvanize and prevent rust and all that kind of stuff. And then we're gonna go through the panel bond and all that kind of stuff and seam sealer, and she'll be mint. We've actually finished this on the abandoned S15 now. You see that that's in primer, and that's because welding's all done. I then went over everything with the panel bond and just went around all the welds and stuff to make sure there's nowhere water could pool or get in or any kind of pinholes or anything like that I was worried about. Went over everything with a thin layer of panel bond, let that set, then over primer next to seam sealer. So these will be all done and ready. You can see this side turned out really nice. Really happy with how this turned out. The arches look so much better than what they were before, and they shouldn't let anything in. One thing I hate about drift cars is when smoke seeps in, and also when these are done terribly, because dirt and moisture will always sit here and this will rust out, just like what it started doing to this, and why we had to do a much cleaner cut and line to bring this back up to save and cut out all the cancer. So that's where we're at. This thing's gonna turn out great, just like we did on the S15. Just finished stitch welding both sides of the fenders. It was a little challenging. I always find that when we use the weld through primer, it creates a fair bit more splatter, but we got it done. Should clean up quite nicely. We'll cut off all the excess and shave it down, and then we'll put the panel bond on and to seal any holes up, and then finish up with the seam sealer. But yeah, same thing on this side. This side probably came out cleaner than the other side, but yeah, should be good. 32's ready for the next stage of rear over fenders. What's kind of funny though is like, we've literally just finished this one. We've just finished this one. And now I need to do this one, because this one was just rolled. And the previous aero kit that used to be on here was like molded in. So we have a ton of filler here that we have to remove before we can cut the rear fender to bring it up and weld it. So that's gonna be a disaster. I may actually just get the body guy to do this one. I'm currently in the merch room, and I just want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you that waited patiently for us to sort out the whole insulated water bottle stuff. As I said, we had issues where the lid design, the quality wasn't great, and then we wanted to make sure that we did all the testing and all that stuff so that it was safe for human consumption. So we got all of that done. The water bottles are finished. They're finalized. These are actually available on the website for individual sale as well. But obviously, those of you that grab the SAMMIT support pack get so much more than just the water bottle. You get the support hoodie and everything. And this is the last of them that is actually going out tomorrow because it's a public holiday. DHL obviously doesn't pick up today. But yeah, we had a crazy couple days just getting everything packed when all the water bottles came in stock. But we only have about 200 of these right now. So those will probably go very quickly individually. They're on the website. And I do just want to remind you guys, we do still have a lot of stuff in stock with the pink bits and the new drops and whatnot. So if you do grab a water bottle, make sure you grab a hoodie or a shirt as well, because the shipping, while it is a little pricey, like 25 bucks or whatnot for international DHL fully tracked shipping, it doesn't really go up much if you add a hoodie or a shirt to the order, because that all fits in like the same kind of satchel that we send it in, and once you kind of hit that base rate. So I always recommend to you guys, grab a couple extras, grab a bit more merch, you'll save money on shipping. Or if you got friends that watch the channel as well and you all want to just do like a group buy, that'll also save you a ton in shipping. But the best thing is yes, you're paying 25, 30 bucks for shipping, but it is fully tracked, fully insured, and most people get their merch in 48 to 72 hours, which is mind-blowing. It's pretty much merch overnight from Japan, and we've never had really any issues at all. And if we do have any issues, DHL always refunds you guys and us for all the troubles and the issues, and we always get you guys new merch sent out as soon as possible. But yeah, thank you again to those of you that were patient. The water bottles are now live on SAMMIT.net. Go grab yourself one before they're all gone. I'm sure you can tell it's the next day. I actually had to rush home and help May with Hugo, but we're obviously at the shop getting a bunch of work done on the abandoned S15 now. Today our goal is to get the rear subframe installed, and Daikie's been busy doing a bolt and nut check on everything. We got the rear hubs installed today. Now we are using Evo brakes with what I believe are GTR rotors. Funny enough, the Evo rear Brembos just bolt straight on. As for the shoes, it seems like that this dust shield here wasn't actually meant for the Skyline like shoe assembly. So the hole was drilled and stuff for this bolt to come through, and they never had a bolt. If you see there, you'll see that nice silver little Allen bolt down there. They never actually had a bolt in there that was holding that kind of piece in there where the captain's hat sits, like all together. So we'd go to tighten that bolt and it would all like twist and move inside there, and that could actually cause the shoes to not work correctly, because if you tightened it and it was angled differently, then there was nowhere for the shoe to pivot off. So we actually had to re-drill a hole into the dust shield and install a nut in there. And we actually had to grind down even the Allen head there so it would clear the knuckle. So that was a bit of fun, but otherwise we're all good. Once Daikie finishes his nut and bolt check, this thing's going up into the car. We've got our kind of like a semi collar kit for the rear subframe bushes and mounts, and these just kind of like sit in place on the top. And you have the thicker ones in the front here, like this. And it doesn't raise or like drop the subframe or whatsoever. It just like stiffens up the OEM mounts and kind of like connects them to the subframe. And then these go on the other side when we tighten it with the nuts. Now, these have to go into the front. We have a few little pink bits here that we're going to be replacing those ones with from Yashio factory. And these will be going in the rear ones. And we're also going to have a sway bar kit from Yashio factory, which will have a couple pink bits on there too. Now, mind you, this is kind of the only pink bits that we're going to be putting on this car. The rest of it's going to be blue. Also, everything's all cleaned up here, ready to rip. I just need to do some seam sealer across here, which we'll be doing later on today as well. But yeah, I'm really excited. This whole rear end has come together so nice, and it just looks like a brand new car under here. Like, it looks so good. I did take off the cover here just because that got a bit of overspray from the primer when I sprayed on this. So I took that off and just repainted it pretty much so that we can put that plastic piece back in there later and it'll look amazing. But yeah, my priority while he's doing that is to get the seam sealer set up and get that on there so that when we lift this in, we can just leave the rear end and start focusing on the front. Today's seam sealer of choice is some 3M stuff. And what we're gonna do is just pretty much put it all on this seam here. I'm gonna get my gloves on, I'm gonna smooth it out with my finger, and then we are done and this thing's ready for paint. Just finished sealing up this side here. It went really, really smooth. It does have very different characteristics, like when you're moving it with your finger and stuff, than silicone, I find. But you can still use the detergent or the spit trick to be able to smooth it out with your finger. And what it does, it just creates a layer between the skin on your finger and the silicone, and it just kind of helps you smooth it out really nice so you don't get any of those long stringy bits or like messy looking, you know, gunk everywhere. Then we're gonna do the other side now. And we're pretty much just gonna do the same thing. This side's gonna be a little bit more tricky just because I gotta be careful around the fuel cap here and not get too much inside there. I gotta keep that thin there. But once again, we're just sealing up anything where the welds were and anything like that, just so we can try to prevent as another layer of stopping any kind of moisture, dirt, or anything getting in there to rust again. We don't want any of that. I'm pretty sure the panel bond will already prevent most of that, but this is just like another layer. I've kind of gone overkill with these over fenders. Usually you could just weld them up and use seam sealer. The fact that I use panel bond is kind of overkill, but I just wanted to make sure that everything was sealed and there was no pinholes or anything before we put this on. So anyways, I'm gonna do this same trick as before. I'm pretty much gonna start from here, work my way all the way around to here, and try to do it all in one sweeping motion. Finished smoothing out all of the seam sealer, and while that's drying, me and Daiki are gonna send the car up and we're gonna get the rear subframe in. So I'm gonna hand the camera to Enzo. He's gonna hold this and we're gonna lift this thing into place. I don't think we're gonna need a trans jack just because we don't have a diff in this, so it's pretty light and we should be able to lift it into place and start bolting her in. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I don't know if I'm underestimating how strong I am or overestimating how strong I am. Let's try. You think you doable? I think we can do it. Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little heavy.
ちょっと重い。
ちょっと。It's okay, 大丈夫。Okay. せーの。Okay. まあこれじゃダメでしょ。ダメ。Alright, well, we can't do that. Daiki can't do it. Let's get the transjet. This is Daiki's helper. We were just saying he needed to go to the gym more. It's all good. I need to go to the gym really bad.
Okay, we'll put some piles of wood here so we don't scratch anything.
I think we'll be good.
No. Okay. Okay.
Alright, I think we're good.
Now,
What the plan will be is, can you support this? Hold this?
I'm gonna lower the car.
Nice and slow. He's really got to go to the gym, doesn't he? If that thing's on wheels, Daiki.
Yes. ちょっと move.
Chotto move?
Yeah.
Chotto means little.
Little.
So if you want to say something's a little shit, you say chotto shitto. Alright, I think we're in the hole. Also, pro tip, guys, if you're doing this, I highly recommend just rub a little bit of anti-seize on these big bolts here on the subframe, because it just means that then you have no problem getting this on or off later. Now we got to be careful because we don't want to jack the whole front of the car up. But we're in. Hiked up. Nice. Yeah, that goes there. Like that. And then this goes here. Oh yeah. Look at that. It's all connected. And then, that's why I had a bunch of these 14s in my little bag mounted rear subframe, rear member S15. Wonder which S15 that's for. How many do we have now? 4, 5? I don't know. How good do these pink bits look in the car? Just as good as you could look in our new pink bits merch over at SAMMIT.net. Make sure you check it out with our fresh new water bottles. Dude, this looks insanely good, right? Look how amazing this subframe looks in here. It's funny because I look at this and I'm like, we're so close, like getting the rear end done and stuff, and then I realize just how much work we have to do on the front end, but the rear end has been so rewarding. Have you ever heard anyone say that? The rear end's so rewarding. Today is gonna be so uncut and raw. That did not go well with that either. Did you do the 14s?
No, yeah.
Oh! No! I was that guy. How many times did I tell you guys not to touch it? And I just did it. Nothing a bit of spit can't fix. This is gross. Blood, sweat, tears, and spit in this car. She's good. She's fixed. Just keep my hands away from her. We need to get this thing higher in the air so I can't reach it, which is pretty high. We're obviously going to use a torque wrench on this later. Like he's doing them by hand. But this is just to get this thing up there. Whoa. Oh, stop.
It's completely off the front.
Nande.
No engine.
Yeah, it's...
What?
It's heavy.
It just added that much weight that it's tilting off the road.
How is it tilting off? Just wait a sec. Hang on. We took the engine out before the rear end, but the like subframe and everything and all like the front like knuckles and everything were in there. I just started taking the weight off this rear subframe and it literally started tilting the car off the lift. So yeah, because there's no more weight in the front, it just isn't enough. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna jack the rear end up a bit. I'm gonna let the lift down a bit, and we're gonna move the lift points to the subframe once we finish tightening it all up. Good catch, like that was a little sketchy. I've never had a car tip on the lift like that before. Okay, stop. Yeah, I just want to like... Yeah, it's good.
What's up?
Up. Do you ever stop and just look at your subframe? It's beautiful. Well guys, rear subframe's in. It feels like it's been a journey, and it has. But guys, I literally just spent like the last hour just on my chair looking at under this thing. It looks so beautiful. I still can't believe I spent all the time and effort into this to make it look this good. I really shouldn't have, but I feel like this thing just deserved it, and I've just been getting a little carried away with it and really enjoying the process, and I've learned so much from this. And this is just the rear end. There's still so much more that needs to be done on this car, but I just feel like this is such a good step in the right direction. Like, look at this thing, guys. It just looks amazing. I can't wait to get the rest of this thing finished up. I cannot wait to have a drivetrain in this, have the engine started. Like, there's just so much waiting on this thing, and we're waiting for some parts to come from New Zealand to fix all this stuff. Like, man, I can't wait. I cannot wait to drive this thing. It's gonna be such a good car. And it's crazy because once we get the drivetrain and the engine in there, then we gotta work on the interior, and that's another disaster. But we should be able to find all the parts that we need on Yahoo. You know, the subframe looks great, but I want to see what the thing looks like with some wheels on it. And what better than my favorite wheel of all time, the Advan RGDs in gold. I need to get these re-powder coated at some point and re-stickered, but let's go. Let's go to the car. Let's go to the car. Let's put it on the hub. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, very light, by the way, guys. Very light wheels. Oof. Look at that gap. It's like 3 fists there. Did we just talk about how amazing this looks? I know, it's hard to imagine. There's no rubber there or anything, but like if I look this up a bit. Like, this is exciting, guys. We're just that much closer to having this thing running, and I think the rest of it's gonna go really, really fast. I know it's been boring for me, to be honest, too, like all the subframe content and just chipping away at it slowly and surely, and then bouncing between this and that, like there's just so many projects on the go. But it has been so difficult to navigate everything here in Japan with what products do I need to use, and learning the new names for things, and just the language barrier and stuff has been a huge learning curve. And it's been actually like doing all of this on this car means that we're gonna be able to get things done a lot faster on all the other cars, as well as like learning new skills, welding and all that kind of stuff. Like, this has been a huge learning curve, and I think it's just gonna lead to us being able to get more done. I mean, also take into account that when we got all these project cars, we were still at the old shop. We came up with this amazing opportunity to get this place, and then we moved everything, and all that downtime between then, and parts also going missing. Like, we don't know what boxes are in what, and it takes forever sometimes just to find like the simplest stuff. So I'm really grateful that we've been able to get this far, and this just is a taste of what's to come, I think, and it's really exciting. I cannot wait to be in the driver's seat of this thing driving, and I'm sure you guys are hyped too. Anyways, I think we're gonna wrap up the video here. There's officially a wheel on the back of this car. This car finally has wheels back on it. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Smash the like button, write a comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section what you would have done better about this. Like, what could have I done better about what we've done to the rear end? We obviously still have a lot more work to do, but we're so much closer. Hope you're excited. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. The rear end has been so rewarding. Have you ever heard anyone say that? The rear end's so rewarding. Today is gonna be so uncut and raw. That did not go well with that either.